I turn acorns to bombs and play wingman at the barber. Make a motorbike out of bus seats and fly to lands that man don't bother. Slip down slides too narrow for a 6'1" body just for the smiles I'll barter. All in a day's work of me hoping to become a better father. I got a billion yeses in reserve for when my son asks, "Want to play with me?" I might let him curse on the low, but he will say please and thank you graciously. Like his pops, he tends to talk a lot and he'll force you to learn how to listen patiently. But don't be alarmed if you see us walking down the street shooting imaginary laser beams. We like to do that. Every toy in the store that greets his eyes, I promise he's requested. And I keep saying no until he starts asking the right type of questions. Because I can't always be there to be an immediate intervention. So even in between the Millennium Falcon and Death Star, I sneak in a lesson. I'll be damned if that next Lego set is built by I. Let him throw a tantrum and huff and puff and sit and cry. Let him hold his breath, even put his own finger in his eye. I purchase said item, I'll make him earn it, and after he throws his fit, he'll try. May he learn that people only truly support those who are doing for themselves. And we are all just one lost privilege away from living in the hell. So carry a big stick, but don't knock others' hearts off their shelves. Morals emit rings and karma hears all told bells. Now, I have no idea how anyone at NYU sees the role of a parent. The end-all, be-all of raising a kid is not what I'm declaring. By no means am I some super dad who's ethereal seafaring. I just felt like the need for more sincere love poems was apparent. It has taken a 5-year-old to make adult me feel self-conscious. Put me on the stage anywhere in the world, and I promise you I'm thinking, I got this. I can have slang sound proper, make malleable out of the obnoxious. But being charged to be the father of heaven's favor comes with no manual I can stick in my back pocket. I show bravery when scared and hide the moon of fear behind the marble of courage. Indeed, mini-me has given me more than just a proverbial purpose. Someone better tell advocate of words that someone's dissecting the validity of his verbiage. Every word, every action, every connotation is dissected like PETA at a circus. So, my son wants to grow up and become a hippie who will cook and bake and griddle soy. Or an ERIK poet, still unwilling to deal with his own complexes like a fickle Freud. The day he steps out from under my shadow will be one of bitter joy, because although he's destined to become a great man, he will always be my little boy. NYU! Real quick, gotta say this real quick. We are not at a golf tournament. We are not in a library class. We are not in English 101. We are at a poetry slam. And in a poetry slam, we are loud, we are obnoxious, and we make sure that everyone who didn't come here today hears us, and we disturb their night. So there are tons of people in the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, and even in this very borough, Manhattan, that's not here tonight, and I would like to disturb them, and the only way to do that is to make some noise. So one more time, ladies and gentlemen, NYU, make some noise! I know when we're in school, we're told, be quiet, be polite. That's not what we're going to be here tonight. Tonight we have students who are going to come up and they're going to compete. They're going to put their hearts out on the table for our judges to dissect them and to give them numbers and all those type of things. So let me tell you what a poetry slam is. A poetry slam is nothing more than a competition. Poets come up, they're going to share their poems, and they're going to be judged by the judges. Our judges, the only thing I ask of my judges is to be consistent. That's all we need of the judges. At the end of the day, it's your opinion. Only your opinion matters. So don't worry about anything. You're not doing it wrong at all. Now, for everyone else in the audience, screw the judge's opinion. Your job is to sway their opinion. If you like a poet who's up here, you need to make noise. Be interactive. Give that energy, all right? Do not let the judges think only their opinion counts. Judges, only your opinion counts tonight, okay? Do not be swayed, be consistent, okay? So, let me start off by introducing our judges. Oh, also, this is the inaugural event. This is the very first slam that NYU is having for Constitution Day. That's why, as we can see over here, it's called Constitution Day Slam. So hopefully, if everyone likes this and everyone talks about this enough, they'll be doing it next year, the year after, and the after, and who knows, 50 years from now, this could become a staple within the community. So allow me to introduce the judges. These are the individuals who are going to tell us who our winner is. You know what? What is the prize? Is there a grand prize?
It's $100.
Oh, it's $100. Is it too late to sign up? So we get someone else to host? All right. So the winner today gets $100. It's only one person who's winning. And allow me to introduce you to our judges. First, one of our judges is a Palestinian American from San Diego, California, and he currently studies here at NYU in the Global Liberal Studies program. He has work that has appeared in many publications. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Khalid Abudawa. Clap for Khalid. Clap, clap, clap. Our second judge has been a recipient of the Guggenheim Fellowship, oh snap, a Whiting Writers Award, the Glass Globe Prize for Emerging Writers, and a Pushcart Prize. You know, after the show, you guys can come up and you can speak with everyone. This is someone you probably want to be one of your friends. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Catherine Barnett. Clap for her. Our third judge is a recent graduate of the MFA program in poetry at NYU. He is a two-time Urban Word New York City Grand Slam finalist, and his work has been awarded an Academy of American Poets Prize. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome James Ciano. Clap for him. And last but not least, our fourth judge previously served as the director of theater and talk program at the 92nd Street Wise and Tribeca Theater. He's currently the executive director of the ERIK Poets Cafe and the author of the short story collection Determined to Prove, and the recipient of a 2016 Eisenhower Fellowship. I didn't know that. We're going to become even better friends. He is also a poet, playwright, theatrical producer, actor, and teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Daniel Gallant. Clap for Daniel. And before going on, Thomas and Dan, they had a little powwow, and they spoke with me, and they said that what they want to do is the person who wins tonight, right? Not only are they going to get the $100, but Dan has invited them to come to the ERIK Poets Cafe to be one of the features and to rock out and do a couple of poems. So, if the poets don't feel any pressure right now, do feel pressure now, because only one of you is winning. So, as the audience, like I said, oh yes, before I forget. Oh, there's 3 winners. Oh, okay, so there's 3 winners, I'm sorry. So that means 5 of you are going to be upset and 3 of you are going to be really happy. Great. So real quick before we begin, because I don't want to be rude, please take out your smartphone, your dumb phone, or your mediocre phone, and either turn it off or put it on pleasure mode. A couple of people caught that joke. I like you guys. So as audience, like I said, I do encourage you guys to speak up. I don't want you to try to have a conversation with the poet, okay? But you can clap. Now, I know with poetry, a lot of people think about the finger snapping. Now, everyone has their own legend of where that started. The legend at the ERIK Poets Cafe is that it started with the ERIK Poets Cafe. Because about 45 years ago, the ERIK Poets Cafe was actually in someone's house. A 1-bedroom apartment on the Lower East Side. And 35, 40 people would get together in this one apartment, people would share their poetry, people would clap, and then all the neighbors would call the fire department and the police, and they'd break it up. So, in order to encourage these poets and not have the party be broken up, they started to snap. And that's where the snapping came. Now, we don't have to worry about the fire department tonight, so I'll make sure that you guys clapping, you're cheering. If you hear something that you like, you be like, yes, you go girl, all that stuff, right? But don't try to have a conversation with the poet. We don't want them to mess up. Also, it's not easy coming up here. In fact, researchers and scientists have gone all around the world asking people, what's the scariest thing in the world? What puts the most fear in your heart? Number 2 on that list is death. The death of yourself, the death of a loved one, whatever it is. Number 1 on that list is what I'm doing right now and what the poets are going to be doing in a few minutes. And that is public speaking. So as the old joke goes, at the funeral, people would rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy. That is ridiculous to me. That is real silly to me. So, nonetheless, this is what the people have spoken. This is how they feel. Our 8 poets who are coming up here today are going, according to the standards of scientists in the world all over, they are going to be cheating death today. That is what they're going to be doing. Our 8 poets, give it up for them, are going to be cheating death. Also, there's a lot of pressure on them because it's the first year that we're doing this, and if we're going to do it another year, it all depends on how good your poems are. All right, guys? So I'm just saying, future generations, just hoping you knock it out the park. So I believe that I've covered everything. We turned off our phones. We are being filmed for NYU TV. We have photographs being taken, video being taken, all of that you'll be able to see online at a later date. And again, I'm going to encourage you guys, at the end of the night, please speak with the poets, please speak with the judges, speak with everyone here. I know it's real easy for us to exchange social media and then like a couple of pictures and then forget about one another. But if you really hear things that you like tonight, what's going to be more important to the poets, even though they want to win, is they want to know that they connected with someone, that someone came up and doesn't just say, hey, pal, good poem, and then keeps it moving. They actually have a conversation with them. And the same thing with the judges. We got award-winning judges here, right? And it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And you can come and meet all these people afterwards, all right? So, also, we've got refreshments in the back. I'm sure everyone has seen it. And we know this is an official event because there are macadamia cookies. I have been doing this for nearly 15 years. And any school I go to, they have their poetry event. If they have the macadamia cookies, I know we're in good hands. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are in good hands. So, without any further ado, as much as my mother likes to remind me every day how handsome I am, we didn't come here to see me. We didn't come here to listen to me. We came here, before I forget, can we please give it up for Mr. Thomas McIntyre, who helped put this thing together? Didn't see that one coming, did you, buddy? Didn't see that one coming. Didn't see that one coming. I recognize the people who put it together. So, without further ado, we are going to call a poet up. Each poet has about 3 minutes, exactly 3 minutes and 10 seconds to come up here and to do their poem. Our judges are going to judge them. I think we have the papers in front of you on how you guys are going to be judging them. At the end of the night, we're going to share with you who won, what the scores are, things of that sort. We only have 8 poets, so that means, because I can see everyone, none of you are allowed to leave until the 8th poet comes up. You gotta give them all love. So, without further ado, on deck is Raul, but we're not calling Raul up right now. He's on deck right now, first coming to the stage, and it's never easy going first. Please welcome EMILIE WEINER. Clap for EMILIE, ladies and gentlemen. Keep clapping. She's almost here. She's almost here. It's not easy going first.
This is called the oak and the vine. Allow us to work from the ground up. I'm watching them march. Jeans loose upon their legs, skin stretched tight across their backs, scowls clinging to their faces as if anything other than a grimace would account for peace. The right of the people is to be secure in their persons. These are the words of our founding fathers, dressed head to toe in white privilege, without forgiveness, yielding sickness, demanding a new world out of one that has long been created. The right of the people is to be secure in their persons. But how can you expect this nation to stand with their feet firmly on the ground when there's a virus running rampant? Symptoms include knocking knees, being up in arms, and dismantling statues? How can you expect security when people are being shot here, when people are being banned here, when there are thousands of men screaming that they shall not be replaced, when any would be ashamed to even be in their space. In other terms, let me tell you about the tree. There's a beautiful oak with its roots buried deep beneath the country. She's tall and blooming and proud. But have you ever heard of the trumpet vine? It seethes and warps and curls its way around the trunk. It will blare its brassy tune until the world collapses around its figure, using the magnificent oak for support, taking and taking and taking, all while killing her in the process. No person shall be deprived of life, they say, but we've become lost in the law, stuck to the foundation instead of being willing to build. Progress is not just repeating yourself. We may come back to our rudiments, but never to begin again. New York City has been brought aground. Our buildings have fallen before, but we must learn to take in the view, behold the scaffold, persevere beyond past generations of evolution and learning so we may see clearest. It's easier to say we the people. It's easier to preach love than to feel it on the bottoms of your aching feet, at the tips of your fingers, even when they're curled into fists. When our president is emboldening hate, we're left wondering how we could have possibly ended up here instead of looking how far we've come. Thank you.
EMILIE WEINER, keep giving it up for her. It's never easy going first. It's not easy coming up here. It's definitely not easy going first. So, also want to recognize, I think it was mentioned before, but in case it wasn't, the NYU Government Affairs, they were part of putting this together, right? So I want to make sure that we recognize them. And also, I'm going to pronounce this wrong and I feel really bad. The NYU, is it Brademas? Brademas, the Brademas Center. It wasn't that bad, right? I didn't pronounce it that bad. So, NYU Brademas Center and NYU Government Affairs, thank y'all for helping putting this together. So let's give it up for them one time. Thank you. And also, over here I heard the finger snapping, I appreciate it. Next time just clap, because we got a big room here. And if the poets would love to hear you guys make noise and the clap if you want. It's interactive, you know? Like I said, we're not the library, not English class 101. So, I have stalled as long as I can for my judges to put their scores together. Bill, you are on deck, but right now we are calling RAUL, HERNANDO, SANCHEZ to the microphone. Give it up as RAUL comes to the stage.
This is called Ghost People. Into a ripping sky, we ascend the bleeding light, the knowledge that without our activation, the world is going to die. And a body with silence for soul is just ghosted from this earth. We must rain stars down, tearing through the lies, with wishes once again working to melt into what's right. We're the hopes that unite us, the dreams we long to crystallize into reality. We only find war inside between pain, hope, and bone. We only find a dark church when reaching for prayer, but we must march, not just in the streets, but in our thoughts, and every deed that comes forth. Yes, the legacy of the Constitution is in the march of our lives, the decisions that we bleed for the earth, and the example we set for the sky. Our proof is broken through. We must shine our eyes like insane diamonds, the ones we know to bespeak of the passion glowing inside. We must refract strength of soul, charcoal and ash reconfigured into diamond form, a strength that poured forth is infinite. And yes, our American heroes, their ghosts are waiting in their temples, watching us, the echoes of their noble deeds waiting for us to continue the march of history. March against oblivion, yes, march against the dark. March against the grip of lies, march against all fog. March against the masks, that land. The 20th Amendment's on remand. Amend my screams, not my dreams. My clocks reach for God. This body is not a living coffin. The operator waiting for you to march for the dream, not just against the poison trying to win. Redefine your pain. Yes, the ghost heroes wait for us to paint America into our own souls, not to let the free air haunt this land, but to whisper strength into living monuments. And the evaporated tears, they sing. Happiness doesn't come from doing what is easy, but what is right. So yes, they will hear the battle cry. In every word I sail into the streets, in every word I bleed on the page, and scar in the air above this stage. Yes, they'll hear, even if they won't listen, because I won't march into neat lines drawn up for us, but I'll march hurricanes into their minds with raging precision. We must take the law like rains, wield policy like horses on fire, like creatures of flame ready to spread illumination again. And her torch fuels our willpower. We sober into an American halo. We shall and must make whole all roads to progress tied up in an interchange of ghosts. Yes, our heroes from history are here now. Their ghosts come. Suddenly shocked that we would turn them this way, that they would have to haunt us to make us realize what we cannot lose. Like scars on national skin, we must march to make the legacy of American ghosts alive again. Thank you.
Keep giving it up for Raul. That dude had too much fun. He was about to walk out with the microphone, man. No, we gotta share it, brother. We gotta share it. So like I said, our poets have 3 minutes. Well, they have 3 minutes and 10 seconds. When they get to about 2 minutes and 40 seconds, in case you saw Thomas, he raised his hand. That's just a signal to let the poets know, hey, you got about 20, 30 seconds left. Make sure you hurry it up. We don't want to take any points away from you. So, just in case you think maybe Thomas is trying to work out like an old college pitching arm injury. No, he's being polite and letting the people know, like the students know, hey, your time's about to run up. So, Lauren, you are on deck. Right now, though, we are bringing up Bill Reed to the stage. Give it up for Bill! Bill got some friends in the background making floors, getting animated for him.
This is work in progress. Constitution constituents convened here currently. Conveniently, we only have one task. At last, only one steadfast task to unmask a celebration of this 230-year-young document, decadent and declaring the beginning of a new world, one where wonders would be achieved, but only under the foundations of hard work and passion, thrashing above the bedrock of equality. We are the passionate, lifting the lamp beside the golden door, and beyond the shore, a rainbow forms, beautiful with all its colors from snow white to dark chocolate. Now, this rainbow is not very clear, nor is it very near, but I have no fear that love will most surely persevere to cheer up this stormy day. We, the people, will push to clear the way. In passionate pursuit of happiness, this country will continue to grow. In conquest of knowledge to know no contest, this country must continue to grow. Stagnation and procrastination is a rhyme this nation must never recite. We graciously grab the gauntlet thrown, knock our egos off their self-righteous throne. Our Constitution has been our beacon, beckoning us to paths less traveled. But we must never forget, even the brightest lights will dim one day. So now it's our turn to forge the fiercest of lights in spite of the haze. A light for the fearful father fleeing his fatherland. A light for those born and raised with blood pumping true red, white, and blue. For the majority of minorities. For the women working twice as hard to earn half as much. For those who don't quite look like us, but have a heart and soul and goal like us. For those I have yet not named, yet are nevertheless ingrained in the spirit and pain that comes with our name, America. Our Constitution has served us well. Now it's our turn to serve it.
ERIK. I think that working with the audio levels, I'm giving them a fit because all the students are coming up being real polite and then I'm getting real loud and stuff. So apologize to anyone, whoever is having to work that. I know I'm giving you a hard time. You know, I'm Puerto Rican, I have a loud mouth. Hey, that's racist to laugh at. Who laughed? No, I'm joking, okay? Let's all have some fun. It's all good. Okay. So, Jay, you are on deck, but coming to the stage right now, welcome Lauren Wynn to the microphone. Clap for Lauren. Keep clapping. She's on her way. Keep clapping. She's almost here.
My mother is still a green card holder. The first American in my family. I wear that fact on my sleeve proudly, that's right. First generation in this nation, sudden revelation, filling out the common application. I'm still defined as Asian. The year 2008, father became a citizen of the United States, and I, looking through his study materials, a single question caught my eye. What is the supreme law of the land? My father said the Constitution and passed the test in HD resolution. 7,591 words summed up into only two. The Constitution. How many know all 7,591 words? Do you know all 7,591 words? To the kid in 10th grade history class who stated while holding on to his Ray-Ban glasses, people with green cards can't work. Wipe the dirt off your lenses first. It was the other way around. I held a navy blue passport, but my parents were the ones who worked. Holding green cards, they shed their blood, sweat, and tears just to quench my thirst. My mother is still a green card holder. Thank you.
Lauren Wynn. Everyone's been under time so far, right? Time? Awesome.
And what about Brendan? He's here yet?
I don't think so, not yet. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Oh, that's you? Okay. I'm gonna come see you, brother. Don't worry. He's one of our contestants. He's gonna rock out later. I'm gonna come see you in a second. And real quick, because I think that my judges have already scored the cards. I'm not trying to say too much about the poets, because as the host, you don't want to influence the scores, but I think everyone has already written it and stuff. Check. I told you I'm giving the AV guy fits with my voice. I told you that, right? He's like, how do I find his levels? What I liked about Lauren is she comes up, hi, I'm shy. And then she does like a little rhyme like she was born in the hood. Like at least the flow. It's like, yo, man, I don't want to mess with her. It's always the quiet ones. Look out. Okay. Christina, you're on deck. But right now we're bringing METJE to the stage. Give it up for METJE, ladies and gentlemen. Keep clapping. He's suited up for you tonight.
We the people, we the people, we the people, we are the people, we the people, we were never born to hate, sate the savagery of the divided society. We were never destined to wake from the nightmare of inequality in the words heard around the world. We the people of the United States of America. And what a state we're in. Chaos or terminal velocity spiraling downwards unto what we must consider what will be our undoing. In my mind, I see a line. One end points towards our demise, and the other towards how we shall rise. We are a nation of those accustomed towards overcoming, idolizers of the idea of more perfect union, reunion of blood met with blood, of resistance, of persistence, of permission to instill. And I don't know if I believe in justice anymore. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of what? Have we accepted the responsibility? It's a line we must walk in affirmations. We are the peak of human civilization, but we cannot treat our citizens with civility. I do believe in humanity, of ideas of greatness, connecting and interlocking, and what does it mean to be an American? Well, that's a dangerous question to ask. We the people, we the people, the people, we the we the we are the people, we are the people, we are the people, we are people. Ask not for the face of our destruction, we have seen it in each other. The look I choose to defy. A nation born in rebellion shall live by it. Which side will you take? Liberty and justice for all, or some, or one, or none?
That was Jay. Brother got a powerful voice too, given the AP fits. But that was kind of hot at the end when he said none, and then like the mic cut out. I was like, oh, I know that wasn't done on purpose. Okay, I'm gonna move on with the show. The AV guys like stop talking about me. We're moving on. So next, coming to the stage, a couple of our poets. Like Raul and Jay, they making me look back, so I'm so underdressed, and this next poet's gonna do the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome CHRISTINA GAYTON to the microphone. Clap for CHRISTINA. Keep clapping till she gets here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the divided states of America and to the racism for which it falls, one narrative, under a God I do not worship, with liberty and justice for some. The red and white striped flag reminiscent reminds me of Where's Waldo? Where is Waldo? Red and white shirt like America, hidden like the red and white flag, can't seem to spot his red and white stripes. All I see is someone else's red blood and his white supremacy. Where is Waldo? Where is we? Read and see We the People, written probably perfecting polarized politics. We the people keep hearing that preamble, the only phrase that even gets mentioned on and on and on. Dusty Constitution says president 120 times, highlight it in yellow or orange, because all I see is a synonym for careless, cavalier reactions towards racism. Reduce each side to nothing. Alt-right white shouting unite the right, left SJW shouting too loud or still silent, right and left. Unite the right is just a fight about the white plight. You're not uniting, you're dividing. We want our legislation. Lay back, lampoon each other till no legislation is left. We spend more time talking at each other than we do with. The people, the president, the representation, all backed into corners. Our Constitution can't even perform. Coiled up in the corner, we shut it out with our shout, shut it up, shut ourselves up. That's unnecessary. The government can do it for us. DC, if you won't see what we're doing, you're doing, the undoing of a document meant to last forever, listen to the echoes. The sounds of silence. We voted loudly, but someone overwrote us. State lines overwrote us. The Constitution in writing has had it wrote for about 230 years. Electoral college is the echo. Endless no, outdated yes. Constitution says speak, but only in a whisper. The people vote, but the states choose. State lines over persons, no wonder we're divided. Constitution says general welfare, but we'll decide for you. 4 years ago, I met one of my senators. And during the conversation, I threw up my chicken on the counter like confetti. And yes, it was kind of because of cramps, but still, that senator was spewing out so much garbage. I thought I'd see if I could blend in with his blacked out hues. Or should I say, whited out hue? Because these days, that's all you guys seem to do.
Keep giving that we're down to our last two poets, and then we're going to find out our three winners, who, like I said, are going to get $100 each. So we know who's taking us out for drinks afterwards, and they're going to get an opportunity to be a feature at the New York Poets Cafe sometime in the future. So like I said, afterwards, again, make sure you guys mingle, speak with our judges, speak with our poets. And if there's anyone here who's going to be in NYU next year and you're like, wow, I want to be part of this, I want to get down with this, start working on your poem now, go speak with Thomas, tell him that he has to do this again next year. So, with that being said, our judges had enough time to give their scores. Brendan, you're on deck, but right now we're bringing up Jeremy Boyd. Clap as Jeremy comes to the microphone. Down to our last two poets. Make some noise for Jeremy. Let's go.
Gonna start it off easy with the First Amendment. Freedom of speech, more like freedom of rap. We got out of that trap while Britain took a power nap. Cause we won the revolution, then we wrote this constitution that would build an institution free from government pollution. By a king or queen's inclusion with the simplest solution of a president's inclusion in order to form a more perfect union. Didn't need a preamble, on and on. I got lost in the green of our own lawn, specifically the grass in New York City. Woo! I'm in Philly, where it got a little chilly. At Independence Hall, where they had a ball at Con, except for any delegate from Rhode Island. Anyway, I gotta say, thank you Hamilton and Jay. You kept the skeptics all at bay with the muscle of the essay. Madison and Washington, we've gotta grin at such a win. The branches of the government are such a sturdy testament to 4 months' dedication spent concocting near the document a federal accomplishment that set our backbone like a splint. Speaking of healing, where's the love at? Thinking and feeling, we're not perfect. Now, I know we've come a long, long way. Amendments 13, 19, hooray! But intolerance and ignorance have a certain viral virulence from east to west in the U.S. that our Constitution can't repress, or can it? I think the Senate and the House should really figure it out. The reign of pain must take a drought while they spit out amendment. LXIX, love with respect, please don't reject what we want to beget. We gave birth to a nation, so we'll raise it ourselves, guided by the proclamation that it changes at will. Thank you.
Jeremy Boyd. How many people in here write? Raise your hand. Don't worry, I won't make you come on stage. Just let me know how many people. Oh, so we got a couple of writers on there. How many people have shared their work on stage or done something like this, whether it's competition or not? Raise your hand. Okay. So there's like 3, 4 people, 5 people. How come you guys didn't sign up for this? Why you guys better sign up for this next year or something? You could win $100 for nothing. For nothing. Let me tell you something. All right, I'm going to give judges real quick time to finish scoring. The same colleges and universities that told me we don't want your money as a student when I was applying are now paying me a whole lot of money to come and teach at their schools. So they rejected me as a student, rejected my money, and they're turning around and now giving me money. And that is all because I've stepped up and spoke for myself. So those of you who write, who have not shared your work, have not got on the stage, you're only playing yourself, right? I hope today inspires you. I hope that you guys are like, you know what? I'm gonna get on the stage. I'm gonna speak for myself. Because at the end of the day, as eloquent and as empathetic and as intelligent I am, I can't speak for any of you. No one who's gotten on this stage tonight can speak for any of you, only you can. So, just put that little seed in your mind while we bring up our last competitor of the event, of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not easy going first and it's not easy going last. He had a class all the way out in Brooklyn and he did everything he can, including putting on his Superman cape just to get over here in time. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage, Brendan BOURSIQUOT. Give it up for Brendan, our last competitor of the evening. Keep clapping, keep clapping.
Transparency. I am not sure how this mirror man came to me or on what moral grounds his audacity lie. Still, he reveals dirt beneath his nails, dripping red hands held towards me with skin peeling off the knuckles. His next actions are crucial. For I have seen my father turn the sink into a crimson bath and then turn to show me his transparent hands. I wondered about why he must have scrubbed so vigorously and not just simply be a man who's done all that he had to. So when I would come to learn innocent child's play formed disparity and equality, he would rest his hands on me, but I would only see my bare shoulders. When he would wipe tears from my eyes because my ugly was beholden to others, I could only see straight through to an unsightly saddened face. For when he held out his palms in aid, I'd see a man standing still, reaching for nothing. I asked with my active ears, what action is required? How, Father, may I form a more perfect union with peace when there is a whole humanity to be pleased? But as our senses do, my perceptions of translucency had made my constitution. I do not blame my father for showing me the sink in which to cleanse my cold blood, for it is of my own fault that I had to best him and seek that of which to clean my entirety. For I have turned whole lakes into caramel and red pools of distaste and distrust, all in an effort to embody my role as an invisible man. But when I have witnessed slurs and symbols progress into generational pious, and when those righteous men preach their gospel, standing upon an altar of electronics and ignorance, all to a still young brown vessel of an impressionable mind, I acted. I had made my decision to bestow my own divine judgment. I know in God we trust to deliver liberty and justice for all, but as I now turn around to see my son's eyes brew a vengeance upon my bloody hands, must I diminish my sacraments to show him the unholy duties for this sacred nation to prosper? Or must I turn the sink into a crimson bath, knowing we all have the right to bask in sin, and simply be a body who's done nothing of what it had to, an invisible man? All right, thank you.
Keep giving it up for Brendan, y'all. So what we're going to do now is, I think that Thomas, you're going to crunch the numbers. We're going to find out who our top 3 winners are. While we're doing that, couple of things. I want to once again thank the NYU Brademas Center and NYU Government Affairs for putting this on Constitution Day. So can we one more time give it up for them? Gotta give it up louder. They're watching on the video. They're watching on the video. We want it again next year, guys. Come on. So I want to thank them. And of course, I want to thank, and this is not me brown nosing, but I want to thank the most important people who came here today, and that is, of course, the audience. Because if there is no one there to listen, if there's no one there to hear us, for us to bounce our words off of, then it means absolutely nothing. So please give it up for yourselves, the audience. Thank you. Also, one more time, because it's never easy coming up here first, people who've inspired us today, who've entertained us today, all of the performers that aided us, please give it up for them, clap for them. We gotta make sure we give them a lot of love. 5 of them are not gonna be happy, 3 of them will be. So make sure you go speak with them. Also, for everyone's here, you know, we're celebrating Constitution Day, and we're doing it with a poetry slam. We're talking about poetry and all that good stuff, and it's fantastic. But the older and older I get, the more and more I realize that a lot of people talk about the Constitution, but they don't really know it, and they don't really read it, right? So what we have here today, and I thought it was brilliant, I'm glad that they brought these. In the tables in the back, you're gonna see this little pamphlet, which is actually the United States Constitution. It's the thing we're talking about today, it's the thing that we're celebrating today, it's the thing that the poets have been talking about, we're inspired by. So make sure you go and you pick up a free copy, read up on it. I'm sure a lot of things you're gonna read like, oh yeah, I knew that already. And then you may read some things you're like, whoa, I forgot that was in there. I didn't know that was in there, this is crazy. So make sure you grab it. I've actually grabbed 2. I'm going to give one to my 7-year-old son, like, learn it, know it right now. people are gonna try to twist it and turn it. You know what it is. You know what those words are. What was it? 7,591 words. That's what it was. You see, I was listening. 7,591 words. And she said that. I was like, man, I didn't even know there were that many words in the United States Constitution. So I'm going to go home and brush up on it. So also one more time, can we please give it up for Mr. Thomas McIntyre for putting it together, for doing our timing, for counting up all the scores, and for having patience with me, because he emailed me, but I didn't get it, or I didn't see it, or something like that, and I didn't get back to him, and he was like, what's going on? This can't fall apart, so I appreciate that. Also, I would like to, one more time, recognize our judges. One more time, give it up for Khalid, a fellow student here at NYU. Give it up for him. He's also a performing poet. Please give it up for Catherine Barnett. Clap for her. Barnett, everything's beautiful, right? That's what it means. Barnett, the word means everything is beautiful. So I like that last name. I've heard it a lot, and I never knew that. Also, a recent MFA graduate here from NYU. Give it up for James Ciano. Clap for him. And last but not least, the executive director of the ERIK Poets Cafe, Daniel Gallant. Please clap for him. Give it up for him one more time. I really hope that after today, we all get ourselves a little constitution and we read it and we become more aware of it, and then maybe some of us are inspired to go share our poems. But I also hope that you guys come and stop by the ERIK Poets Cafe. It's like less than a quarter mile from here, and there's always different types of shows. It's not just poetry. I mean, they've had some really, they've had a theater and hip hop and comedy. They've had interpretive dance, which is a little funny to me, but I enjoyed myself watching it, right? We all got our thing. So make sure you check out the ERIK Poets Cafe. A little history behind it real quick. The term New Yorican, right? We all know it means New York and Puerto Rican. It's like a mix. But it actually comes from the term neo-riqueño. And that was back around World War I. And that's when a lot of Puerto Ricans had become American, right? And they went into fight in World War I. That's how Puerto Ricans, back then, they had to become American, and that's how they did it. And such a large portion of Puerto Ricans wound up coming to New York and settling and building their own culture that it started to get a little different from the culture on the island. The islands and the Puerto Ricans in New York are just a little different. So that's how they came to be known as the Neo-Riqueños, which is like the new Puerto Ricans, New York Puerto Ricans. Now it's called the ERIK Poets Cafe. Now it's called NYURICAN. And although it's called ERIK Poets Cafe, it's not just about Latinos. I want to make sure that is abundantly clear. I'm so proud it has a Latino name. But we have everyone of every culture come down to the NYURICAN. And if you really want to look at it, if you look at the Latino diaspora, everybody's our cousin, right? We've got African blood within the Latino diaspora, we've got European blood, we've got the indigenous population of the Western Hemisphere. And tell me, you go to the Philippines and not find yourself a Gonzalez or Rodriguez over there, all right? So literally everyone is our cousin. Everyone talks about what's the world gonna look like in 1,000 years. They're gonna look like Puerto Ricans. They're gonna be real mixed because we got everyone's blood in it. So I really hope that you guys come down. Are we ready for the score, or do I have to, or should I keep going? I got one more poem. A little bit? Okay. So I'm gonna do one more poem. It's not about the Constitution. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared for Constitution poems. So this poem is going to be why a lot of people start writing poems, right? For this very reason. Before I do the poem, I just got to tell you this real quick, public service announcement. I don't care if you're heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual, or asexual. There's one thing in this world you were to never, ever, ever do. You were to never, ever, ever get romantically involved with a poet. Because if you get involved with a poet and the relationship messes up, they're going to write a poem about you and come to NYU and share it with a beautiful crowd. So with that being said...
Yeah, I went there.
Me and food got beef. At 6'2", agile to get pancaked, and I could duck the quickest of jabs. Shoot, I'm no turkey. I smell a fight marinating. Ring the bell, I'm hot. Dog, let me tell you. I noticed the way my girlfriend was grilling food, staring with her starving eyes. I tried to be as cool as a cucumber, strong like a kernel. I wasn't gonna pop or show her I was jelly. But then I overheard her on the phone with one of her girlfriends talking about going to a sausage party tonight and waking up and getting crabs the next day. My stomach turned in directions only a bowl of pasta could understand. My mouth had the taste of overripe asparagus drowned in spoiled vinegar. I mean, damn, I felt like a pregnant meatball with anxiety, whatever the fudge that's supposed to mean. The grapevine told me she had the temptations and was gluttonous with them. Things between her and I had become salty. Over our last supper, she reveals to me I have competition for her affection with food. She says she didn't know if I alone could fill her appetite anymore. She had tender loins and they burned. And although she got her nut when we spooned, she still felt the need to do lunch and wake up with breakfast in bed. Scared, I stepped up to the plate and said, baby, I've slipped on a banana peel and fallen in love with you over countless Sundays that have left me feeling like I'm walking on whipped cream. Your kisses are so sweet, they leave a cavity in my lung. We're two peas in a pod, you're the apple of my eye, spice of my life. Baby, you're my prime rib. I don't want to be just another fish in the sea. Honey, let us run away and get married. She replied, sugar, I cantaloupe. Life was hers for the milking and she had to get her pork rind on. Over dessert, more secrets started spilling out. And the universe knows I should have yoked her because she kept egging me on. I scrambled for a resolution. Looked for the sunny side, but she just wanted it over easy. Me and food got beef. Seriously, y'all don't know. Ever since she left, I've been beating the meat, slamming the salami, choking the chicken. Damn, I miss her breast and legs. Where am I gonna get a tossed salad? Onions don't know tears like these. I smoke broccoli. Half-baked all day, turned into a couch potato. Now I'm responsive like a vegetable. I stewed in my thoughts until my mood boiled over. A few days later, I mustered up the courage and I asked her to meet me. I told her I'm a taste worth acquiring and she can have the last of my cabbage and bread. I started to whine and beg for her back and she replied, her belly's full. She had a bun in the oven. They had wore no mittens and she got burned. The fruits of my adoration were spoiled. My eye candy, dancing with the sugar plums in my head, had pruned me. At that moment, a cherry popped, my melon ripened. I saw we did not make a good pair, and I realized it takes an asshole to get rid of shit. So with raspberry cheeks, enraged Spanish Popeye-like arms, and an argument that I won over the proper pronunciation of tomato, I headed into the cornfields, never looking back. Fully aware she was glazing my departure the whole time. Me and food got beef. Thank you. Thank you. There were no children in the room, so I was like, oh, I can do that, Mom. So I want to give a shout out to the people, to the AV people who are doing the audio for us. I want to give a shout out to the photographers, making us look good. You know, so we can go put those pictures on Instagram and make all of our exes upset. You got a good picture of me too. She's gonna be so pissed when she sees that picture. I love you. And we also got a videographer. I know we're doing something up there with a video for TV. We also have another videographer so that we can capture this moment and remember it. So make sure that you guys look online for that. Keep in touch with who? Who should they keep in touch with about that?
Brademas Center.
The Brademas Center. NYU Brademas Center. Keep an eye on them. So we have our three winners. One more time, let's give it up for everyone who rocked out, who inspired us, made us realize we need to go back and read the Constitution. So it is never easy coming up here, and it's not easy when you hear that you are not one of the winners. So, in third place, everyone's getting the same amount though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone's getting the same amount. So, one of our winners is, should we bring them up? Yeah, let's bring them up. Okay. One of our winners is, I personally think he's the best dressed today, but that doesn't mean that necessarily good poetry, but although he was have a good poet. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome METJE to the stage. One of our winners tonight. No, you can stay up here. Yeah. We're gonna get all the winners up here. There you go. In second place. She let us know how many words are in the Constitution. Give it up for Lauren Wynn. Clap for Lauren. Come up here, Lauren. Come up. And last but not least of our winners is, oh yeah, did I tell you guys about the ERIK Poets Cafe, right? You gotta go check that out. Okay, sorry. All right, so our last winner of the, oh wait, I'm on social media too. Advocate of Words, it's with a Z at the end, not an S. Advocate of Words with a Z. Make sure you guys go check it out. Follow me, I'm pretty cool. So, our last winner of the place is, wait, I'm joking. Christina GAYTON, come up. Christina, our third winner tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the inaugural Constitution Day Slam at NYU, give it up for them. Make sure afterwards you speak with them. Drinks are on them tonight. Congratulations.
Yeah, for real.
So, Thomas, is there anything else that we want to shout out that I haven't mentioned? No? We're good to go? So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. This is the end of our event. Please stick around, speak with the judges, speak with the poets, inspire yourselves, and have the macadamia cookies. Thank you very much.